Welcome everybody, this is Jason and this week we're doing a mini workshop called Setting Up Milkshape. So let's have a look. Why do we need to set up Milkshape before use? Milkshape is a tool capable of creating meshes for dozens of different games, but it's neither user-friendly nor plug and play for TS2. Prior to using it, configuring is a must. Okay, so what steps are involved? In this workshop, we'll be looking at basic configuration, removing unnecessary plugins, editing your shortcuts, and adding useful plugins. The first time you launch Milkshape, before doing anything else, move to the Groups tab and uncheck Auto-Smooth, just like that. Next, head to Edit Preferences. In the MISC tab, change your joint size to 0.01. The reason for this, out of the box, Milkshape has these giant chunky joints that don't allow you to see the mesh. So we need to change the joint size before we can do any kind of meshing. So once we've done the basic setup, we need to remove any unnecessary plugins. To do that, we close Milkshape, then right click on the Milkshape executable and select Properties in the dropdown. Then you're going to get this pop-up. From the pop-up, just click Open File Location. That will take you to your Milkshape root folder. So from the root folder, create a new folder called Unused. And we're going to move all of the unused plugins into this. My reasoning for this, if you just delete the plugins, you can't get them back. You might delete something that you need. So my reasoning for the unused folder is that if you move everything to unused, you can recover it later if you need it. Now, once we set up that unused folder, we're just going to move all of the unused plugins into that folder. Just Control X and the Control V, or just move them in mass. Now, once we've moved all of the unused plugins into the unused folder, we relaunch Milkshape and we go Tools, Edit Shortcuts. You'll see this long list of import and export DLLs that we don't really need. I like to keep import Half-Life SMD because I work a lot with Sims 4 to 2 conversion, and that's a useful script to have. But all of these Quake, Genesis, Unreal, I don't really use those. So we select the script from the list there. We uncheck Show in Menu, we click on Set, and we just go all the way down the list. When we're done, we click OK, and it's going to close Milkshape, and we would need to reopen it. Once we reopen it, if we look at our import and export scripts, the lists are a lot shorter and they're a lot easier to find. Now, once you've removed all of the unnecessary plugins and edited your shortcuts, what we need to do is add some useful plugins. So we go to the workshop resource post, and I posted a bunch of useful links, mostly from Wes Howe and Cat of Evil Genius. Go ahead and pick and choose the ones that you need. I use all of these to some extent, so go ahead and download those. Once again, just open your Milkshape root folder and paste all of those scripts that you downloaded into the Milkshape root folder. And that's pretty much it. Once you have done all of that, your Milkshape is a lot more organized and it's easier to find your import and export scripts. Okay, so to get started, we open up our Milkshape. We go over here to the Groups tab. We uncheck Auto-Smooth. The reason for this, when you import a 5GD and you have Auto-Smooth checked, it's going to destroy the neck seams. We don't want that. We want to import a nice smooth mesh. We want to retain the neck seams. We don't want that little gap in the neck for the outfits. So we need to uncheck that before we import. Okay, moving on. We go to File, Preferences. Then we go to the MISC tab. We need to change our joint size to 0.01, just like that. The reason for this, out of the box, Milkshape has these really huge, chunky joints, and we don't want that. We want regular size joints so that we can see the mesh that we're working on, which is why we need to change joint size. Okay, so now we're done with that. We can go ahead and close out of Milkshape. Now, we need to get rid of all of these unused scripts. So we right click on Milkshape, or right click on Milkshape here, and we go to, we click on Properties. Then we open File Location, just like that. And we've got this whole list of scripts. We don't need most of these. So we go New, Folder, and I'm just going to call this Unused. Just like that. Okay, so now if you look at the resource post, my last link here is to Red Simmer's blog. He includes this huge list of scripts that we don't really need, and a brief explanation of how to edit the shortcuts. So let's start with these scripts. So we've got M2DS exporter, M2DTS exporter. So we go to our Milkshape root folder, and we can grab these 5 and we just boop, scoot those up into unused. Then we've got 3DOL. We've got 3DS. We got 3DT, ABC. And we need ASC, Blitz, BVH. Then D3D. Dot. Most of these formats I haven't even heard of. I would have no idea what to do with them. Then we got GenMap. And we got GLM. We don't really need any of those. Then we got LUV and Lightwave. Then we've got Map Importer. And we've got Maya. Just going to cut those. Pop them in my unused folder. And that's the first column. Then go back to the second column. Okay, we've already got Maya. So we're looking for MD5. MD5, we got MDC. An MD-LD decompiler, then MDX. Then Nebula Nod. Novode. The Object X one. And the Orbiter POV. Then PSK QOB. And then RAW and RF2. And we just go Control X, and we paste all of those in unused. Then we have a look at the third column. RIB, S2M, oh, SLT, sorry. Sorry, RIB, SLT, text, and TMD, VRM, war, X, Yafre, and Zydeco. So again, Control X, we'll paste those in unused, and we're done there. So we go File. We can already see that that's a lot shorter than it was before. That's a good thing. So now we go to Tools, Edit Shortcuts. Now we look at Half-Life SMD. I do a lot of 4 to 2 conversion, and this is a useful script to have, so I'm not going to mess with it. But Quake 2, I don't really use this, so I uncheck Show in Menu. I click Set, and Quake 3 Arena, same thing, uncheck, click Set, and I'm just going to go down the list. Now, we don't want to mess with Wavefront OBJ because we use that one. Serious Sam, don't use it. Max Payne, The Sims 1 SKN, the Game Studio, the 3DS. I used to use that. I don't use it that much anymore. Lightweight, they don't even make that software anymore. Half-Life SMD on export, I need that, so I'm leaving it. We just go all the way down the list. Unreal, Serious Sam, Max Payne, The Sims Skin. We don't want to mess with Wavefront. Lightwave, another format of Lightwave. AutoCAD, we don't need that. Just uncheck all of these export scripts. And then once we're done with that, we just click OK. It's going to tell us we need to restart. So let's have a look at that. Now we go File, Import. We've got this short, nice, clean list. Same thing with export, just a really short list. Use plugins and edited your shortcut. In the resource post, I've linked a bunch of useful plugins. We need to install these into our Milkshape root folder. So I already have a folder of these that I reserve because I install and uninstall Milkshape a lot. So let's close out of that. And then once again, let's open our Milkshape root folder. And I'm just going to take this little cocktail of my personal DLLs that I use. Yep, my folder of personal DLLs that I use that I need to install. So I copy those and I just paste them into the Milkshape root folder. And now let's have one more look at Milkshape. So now we have one final look at Milkshape, and now I have the option to import TSRW, which is WSO actions, something that I use frequently. And there you have it. That is how to set up Milkshape to mod for Sims 2. Hey folks, editing Jason here. So I thought that I had all of my issues with OBS ironed out at the beginning of the workshop. I had tried working with the live workshoppers to fix it. I was able to pick up their questions in the recording, but my mic wasn't picking up during the OBS recording. So I'm going to try to splice in the live workshop questions and provide my own responses. And for the next workshop, for real this time, I hope that I have OBS issues fixed. That's all for now.
So, sorry, on the last slide, the JS samples, MTS default, skeletons, and VET, that's what you want to put in use or not?
So what Rachel is asking here is about these four folders, the skeletons and the other three that come installed with Milkshape. These four folders don't need to be moved. What needs to be moved are all of the extra DLLs that we don't use. Hope that answers the question.
Midnight did have a question about keys. Do you have to buy one, or is there a way to get one for free?
So, Midnight's question is about the registration key for Milkshape. If you go to Milkshape's free site, you can download 1.84 or 1.85 for free. I don't even think that they sell it anymore. The difficulty is that this is the trial version, it doesn't come with a registration key. If you just Google Milkshape registration key, you shouldn't have any issues. You should be able to find one.
At this point, would it be easier to list which ones we do need?
It's a fair point. There are a lot of plugins, but I don't know. I would just recommend that you follow Red Simmer's list because it removes a lot of the stuff you don't need. Mm, I wouldn't remove anything that's not on the list because they are either baked in features of Milkshape that it can't function without, or they are plugins that you might need later.